Hello guys, and welcome to my new series, Swami Kris. I know the name Swami Kris might sound a little pretentious, but let me start off by saying I know in no way am I an actual Swami. This series is about finding relaxation and inner peace. So let me start off by saying, um, sorry, I had this all really well thought out in my head as to what I was going to say. Let me start out by saying I grew up going to Self-Realization Fellowship. And if you're not from California, India, or are just an avid fan of the Beatles, you will probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But basically, Self-Realization Fellowship um, is kind of, in some way, it's like a religious spiritual conglomerate, and they believe in taking spirituality from all religions and seeing how it works together as a whole. And they do things like meditation and relaxation techniques. And I would also like to start by saying that I am a highly, highly anxious person. And if you know me at all, you probably know how incredibly anxious I am. Um, and by saying that, I would also like to say that basic forms of meditation, like close your eyes and take deep breaths, unless I'm guided through a meditation, it just doesn't really seem to work. My mind just cannot stay clear enough to be able to meditate like everyone else. So I have decided to create this series um, explaining and talking about all different methods of finding relaxation in ways that I've found work for me. And the first I would like to start out by talking about is biofeedback. Um, my mother has this biofeedback game software on her computer, and it actually really, really works. Um, if you're not quite sure what biofeedback is, basically it's controlling your breathing, which in turn controls your heart rate, and to kind of relax and calm you, or kind of anything, just gaining control over your own breath and heart rate. And it's used to be relaxing, because when your heart rate is lower, it's typically when you're in a calmer state. So if you can control that yourself, you will naturally become calmer. So this software that my mother has, it comes with just a bunch of stuff, and there are these little clips that go on your first three fingers, um, and they monitor your heart rate. Then there's this series of games, and using just your heart rate, you control what's happening on the screen. And it is incredible. I'm just going to say that right now. It is absolutely incredible, because you can see exactly what's happening right in front of you, and it knows if you're not calm. So it will not work. The games will not work until you get yourself in a certain state of mind and are able to control how you're feeling. So it's really, really therapeutic, because you gain that control, and you can see everything. You can see your own kind of feelings manifested right in front of you. Um, so it keeps you able to know what's happening at all times. And if you lose focus, the game will stop working. It even tells you in the instructions that you have to stay focused yet relaxed at all times, or else it just won't work. And that actually makes perfect sense. Um, so since I'm not sponsored by the game or by anyone, I'm not going to tell you the name of it or anything, because I don't want to get in trouble. But I'll give you an example. There's this one game on the software, and basically it's just floating balloons. Balloons will float by you one by one. And if you take deep, calming breaths, um, the balloons will sink. And if they sink low enough, they'll pop. And that means that you're calm and in a peaceful state. But if your heart rate elevates and you get excited, the balloons will instantly rise and pop. The goal of the game is to either get the balloons to just float level across the screen or to get them to sink and pop. Um, I, as I mentioned before, I have very, very high anxiety. So at first, games like this were kind of difficult because you literally have to have control over how your body is manifesting and what your mind is thinking. And I've never, ever been very good at that. Um, but quite lately, especially lately, I've been under even more stress and more anxiety. So I asked my mother if she still had this software, and she said yes. So I literally spent most of the morning using this software, and I was amazed at how I was actually able to get myself into a state of mind where I could get the games to work almost perfectly. Because when I'm going throughout the day just about my own business, I find myself just with high levels of just tension and anxiety, and like I would take like herbal supplements to try and calm myself down. I would take pills to try and calm myself down. I would just try and find every possible way to calm myself down, and I'd always end up just like a total crying, panic attacking mess. So it did not really matter at all what I would take or do. But I gotta tell you, this morning, doing these biofeedback games, I was just so calm and peaceful, and it was the first time I had felt that way in a really long time. Um, since this is going to be a whole series, I'm not always going to be talking about the same thing in every episode. Today's episode is kind of just an introduction to why I'm making this series and to a little bit about biofeedback, because that's what seems to be working the best for me right now. Um, but but yeah, um, it's really I in fact, today was the day that I came up with this idea for this series. I was thinking to myself, it would kind of be great if I could get a group together of people that were just we want to be calm, let's just do calming exercises. But I realized that that just couldn't really happen right now because I don't know enough people and I don't really have a space where I could get enough people together that just want to be calm and peaceful. Um, but I was thinking, next best thing, make a new series teaching people how to be calm and peaceful. So yes, this biofeedback thing is just absolutely amazing because you have to. You don't really have another choice. Especially in the video games, you have no other choice in except to like control your breathing and lower your heart rate so the game actually works properly, so you can see it manifesting right before your eyes, and it's quite fantastic. Um, so that's where I'm going to leave this video for today. Um, Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, guys.